We're live, guys. We're live. If you can hear me, post in the chat. I hope you're all in your pajamas because today is a pajama party with one of my favorite people in the world, Penn Smith Skincare. Are you in your pajamas? Let me know if you are in your pajamas. Look, I am fully committed. I have no makeup on, except I do have a lip stain. I got to say, I do have a lip stain. Okay, this is what we're going to talk about today. Okay, we are going to talk about the skincare secrets from your favorite creator, your favorite skincare creator ever, Penn Smith Skincare. I've been getting literal DMs about Penn right now. I went down the rabbit hole. I was watching her content as I always do. And I know a lot of you guys are wondering, like, why do you look so good? What changed? What's happening? I mean, Penny always looks amazing. She's always been so beautiful. But the comments right now are harassing her about what she's had done. What work have you had done? Are you gatekeeping? What's going on? And so I've been texting her being like, girl, your comments, what's happening? We need a live stream. We need to address this. We need to bring Penny on and we need to talk about not only our favorite products, but why she looks like a literal, beautiful, glowing angel right now. Okay, we are gonna not gatekeep. We're not gatekeeping anything anymore. Oh, we see that people are coming in. Good evening from Denmark. First time here. Hello from Maryland. Oh, this is awesome. Hi, everyone. As always, I have my drink. Look at this. My kids got me this world's greatest mom mug. So let me know, as we always do, what you are drinking and where you are watching from, okay? Pop it in the chat. I'm so glad that you guys are here. All right. I got to exit my solo layout here, and we have Pop Penn in. Hey, Penn!
Hello! Hi, everyone. Hey, I want you to know that I'm completely committed, too. I am not faking out. I got my pajamas. I even have my slippers on, so I'm here for this. And I do have an iced coffee, which is kind of strange since we're doing a bedtime thing. But, you know, I've got my drink too. So I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, look, we have someone else drinking coffee. Oh, lots of people drinking Dr. Pepper. We're drinking coffee. Oh, that's awesome. I have 46 subscribers to go until 3,000. Oh my gosh. Good luck, Matt.
Yes, good luck.
You got this, you know, you got to just keep going.
That's right.
Okay, girl, let's address the elephant in the room. Why do you look so beautiful?
First of all, you are far too kind and generous. I mean, kind of slightly ridiculous, but you know, it's funny because in the last, I don't know, my last several videos, I think what is happening is that I've lost some weight. And so I look a little bit different because I've lost some weight. If it were something like monumentous, like I went and did a nip tuck or something like that, I would share because I've done that before and I did share. So I promise that it is nothing surgical that I've done, but I have lost weight. And what I've done beyond that isn't skincare is that I quit drinking alcohol, which nobody wants to hear because I know that that's like no fun. And I quit eating sugar. I don't eat any refined sugar anymore at all. And the sad reality is that sugar and alcohol showed up on my body and my face and they don't anymore. So it's been a huge lifestyle change for me in the last like 6 to 9 months. And yeah, so that's what I've mostly done, which also, I will say that I did do something called Agnes RF, which is an in-office procedure, and it is to target and melt fat, which when I was telling people that I did that procedure, people were like, why would you ever do anything to melt fat? And I understand that for a lot of people, but some of what's going on when we are getting like jowls or is heaviness. I'm 50 years old. I'm going to be 51 in a couple months, and some of the dissension of our fat pads is, you know, down here. So I did have that done in October and in January. And they tell you it takes like 4 to 6, 8 months for you to see the results of that. So I think probably in like the last 2.5 months, I've started to see that as well as lost weight. So there's that. But on top of all of that, I've taken extraordinary care of my skin in the last few months. I usually do, but I've been like uber diligent with my skincare. And I think all of that has just come together. And my hair is finally starting to come back. I had some tragic hair breakage, and I think it's finally kind of starting to come back. And so I don't look quite so sad that way. So, but I really do appreciate it. It's really sweet of you to, the compliments are super sweet. I think they're a little bit over the top, my friend, but that's very nice of you.
They're not over the top. You are so beautiful. You're beautiful in real life. You're beautiful on camera, and you're even more beautiful on the inside where it actually matters. So
that is where it matters. You are right.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here. And I was telling, Penn and I were talking, and we were saying, because I was like, your comment section right now are blowing up. And Penn was saying, and I said, is there anything in this live stream you don't want to talk about? And she's like, are you kidding? Like, look at my channel. There's nothing I don't talk about. And that's something that I think is really cool, that we can be open and honest with each other as women. We don't have to gatekeep things or have these secrets. I just got PDO threads done. I mentioned it in my last live stream because I've been finding I have a very thin face. And as I've gotten a little bit older, and I'm only 38, right? But I've really been noticing in the last year or two that they're getting extremely, extremely deep. And so I just had their dissolvable sutures put in and pulled up. It's perfect for someone of my age who still has a lot of collagen and a lot of like tissue in the skin. It's like a soft version, very minor version of a little facelift. And that's the same with me. I don't have to gatekeep these things. I want to tell you guys, and maybe it will help you. And some of you out there might think that's insane. You're not even 40. Why would you do that? But it was something that was bothering me, creasing my makeup. I really noticed it was changing my facial balance. And, it was in-office procedure, in and out. And I feel like you're the same way, right, Penn? Like, you don't need to gatekeep. You don't need to hide. You're not embarrassed.
No, I mean, honestly, having worked in a clinic and Botox is done there, and fillers and Sculptra and threads and all of that stuff. Like, that's just my reality. I don't find that there's any shame in any of that. I also don't think anybody needs to do any of that. Like, I feel like everybody just should do what makes them happy, but none of it's necessary. And like you said, really what counts is who we are on the inside. Yeah. But some of the aesthetic stuff can affect, at least for me personally, what I think about when I do my skincare, any of these treatments that I do, I just feel like it gives me a little sense of control almost. Like, I'm in control of this aging process. I'm going to do my skincare the way that I want to do it. I'm going, that kind of thing, but I don't find any shame in it whatsoever. So I'm cool with the questions and all that stuff. It is pretty funny because under the last couple of videos, somebody was like, well, it is obvious you got a nose job. And I'm like, gosh, I never even thought about a nose job. You're like, that wasn't even ever on my list. Like, I did. I'm just like, okay, whatever. So
I know. Well, you guys are in for a treat because we are doing we're going to have a lot of fun in the stream because we're going to be sharing our favorite products. They're all skincare. Some of them are body care, skincare stuff, facial care. I'm not wearing makeup. I just have a little bit of a lip tint on. And so I want to demo some of them so you guys can see the effects of the glow, all these things that I really love. Penn's going to show some of her favorite stuff. I've been watching every video. Oh my God, there are so many cool things that you've been talking about lately that I can't wait for you to share with my audience. And we're also going to do audience Q&A. So my girl, Lori, you guys know and love Lori. She's my second hand on the channel, the behind the scenes brain. She's in the back end right now where she likes to be the best. And she's reading every single comment. So if you guys have questions for Penn or questions for me, please put them up in the comments because we will be sharing back and forth, but then we'll also be doing audience Q&A. And I'm also going to answer some of the community board questions that I posted. I posted a community board thread saying, do you guys have any questions? And I did get a comment saying, you never answer our questions. Like, why do we bother leaving them? And that's a very valid comment because when we do live streams, it gets so crazy up in here. Sometimes we miss community questions. So I've specifically saved them as a banner and I'm going to pop them up so that you don't feel ignored and that you're appreciated when you are leaving community questions. So just want to say that first, because I really want you guys to know that I care about you and I do value you watching and spending the time engaging with the content. So the first things first, I want to say thank you to Sleep and Glow for sponsoring a part of today's live stream. I need to tell you guys the perfect time to tell you about this pillow. So this is called the Omnia. Have you guys seen this before? Pen, do you know this pillow?
Yeah, of course. I mean, sleep pillows are definitely helpful. Big
I
time.
know. Who doesn't know this pillow, right? So I've been talking about this pillow for about 2 years now. I've had this pillow forever. I love this pillow so much. It's been through the ringer with me. So the reason that this pillow is amazing is because it's considered the beauty pillow, okay? So it's the pillow that's going to help with aging. And the reason that it helps with aging is because of the unique way that it's actually designed. So what it has a curve here. And then it has almost like a divot, or not almost, it actually has like a divot or a hole here and a hole here. So when you rest your head on it, you are like perfectly kind of ergonomically cradled in this pillow, okay? And so that's all fine and dandy, but what about when you sleep on your side? Well, when you roll onto your side, the pillow actually cradles your face so that your face no longer gets squished. So when we age, we get something called expression lines and expression wrinkles, right? Very normal. And that's when we're making a lot of expressions. We're getting these vertical lines on our face. But when we sleep on our pillows like this, and our face gets squished for multiple hours a night, every single night. And over time, those vertical lines or vertical wrinkles become permanent. So I'll tell you guys a little bit of an example. When I went in to get my PDO threads and I was talking to my plastic surgeon about it, I said, you know, these are just so deep. And he looked at me, he says, you know, they're not that deep. He's a really nice guy. He's actually coming on a live at the end of the month, but he's like, they're not that deep, but what you're noticing is that they're quite uneven. And the first thing he asked me was, what side do you sleep on? And as soon as he said that, I had this light bulb moment because, you know, for the longest time, I never used a beauty pillow, and most people don't, but sleeping on the same side every single night has actually made this much deeper than this. And that's coming from a doctor, right? He was like, that's a sleep thing. Your volume loss is much more on this side than this side because of the way that you're sleeping. Okay, so enter Sleep and Glow. Okay, that's going to offset that, right? So at this point, it's not that it's too late for me. I can definitely not have it progress more, but using something like this is great because it's going to prevent you from having that happen more and more and more as the years go on, every single night, spending all those hours sleeping on your face. Something else I want to tell you about it that I really love is that whenever I get any type of procedure done, like say I get a peel or I do dermaplaning, or I'm getting a little bit of filler or whatever, I really love this pillow because when I'm sleeping, I know that I'm not going to be sleeping on my actual face. It's kind of a bit of like it's a guarantee, you know, when you're in a deep sleep and you're like, oh, I'm going to mess this up. Or if you have lash extensions, you're going to be able to prolong the wear of your lash extensions. So all of those things are amazing. One more thing, I'm very passionate about this pillow. I think this is like the really, really great invention. Another thing that's great about it is that you can get a silk pillowcase for it.
I was going to ask you about that because that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Silk pillowcases, again, they're huge, right, Pen? Like, you know. Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about silk pillowcases in terms of like the skincare benefits of it?
Yeah. I mean, and frankly, obviously, as you know, the hair. I literally just put a silk pillowcase on a pillow that is my pillow. And because it is so good for helping your hair health over time, obviously. But yeah, it's a very similar thing to the pillow being ergonomic. It's that your face there's no friction. And so, and I just love, so I was watching and I was like, that's gotta be a silk pillowcase on there, which is very, very good. But I will let you go back to I'm listening. I'm learning from you, my friend.
Yeah, no, you got it. Like, that's all the things, right? And I'm going to be honest, like when you switch, and maybe you've noticed this too, when you switch even to just a silk pillowcase, there's a little bit of a learning curve. You kind of have to get used to it a bit.
Yeah.
And right. So because it's the way that you sleep, you have to give this a chance and get used to it. But once you're used to it, you know, within a week or so, you're going to not know how you lived without it, because it even reduces, like it significantly reduces morning puffiness because you're elevated a little bit and you're not squishing your face for so many hours a night.
Yeah.
So
I think that that actually is a really good point, though, with any with the Sleep and Glow pillow, is that it takes a little time. I remember I tried, I don't know, a few years ago, and it took me several different week long where I finally was like, okay, I'm gonna just put in the time, because it's really you can kind of give up because it's different, but it's worth it. It's worth it to train yourself to sleep on the pillow, and also on silk pillowcase for sure.
Yeah. And then as you do it for a long time and you see the results of it, then you go to a hotel and you wake up all puffy, and you don't even remember that you used to have that issue. And it's like your hair is frizzy because of the cotton, and your face is you have sleep line, and it's just such a pain. So it's one of those things, you put the time in, but you will get the results from it, and it's a long-term result thing. So it's awesome. So I have an announcement. It's actually their birthday month this month. So that's why they sponsored the channel, which is so exciting. So we have an awesome discount code for you guys right now. So if you want it for this month only because of their birthday month, happy birthday, Sleep and Glow. If you use my code Gabby15, you do get 15% off until July 21st. And then after July 21st, it goes down to 10%. Okay. So if you guys want to check it out, definitely check the description box below, because all the information will be there. All right, let's go on to Penn's first item. So what's your secret sauce?
Well, let's see. If we're going to start with some skincare, I'm going to go in no particular order. I would say let's start with exfoliation. I think this is something that you probably would agree with, but especially as I've gotten older, the importance of exfoliation for anti-aging, really, it's more for just improving texture, improving the tone of the skin, and just kind of that overall glow. So probably one of my all-time, lifetime favorites is the Lotion P50 1970 from Biologique. Do you have Biologique I'm sure you have in Canada, but this product is it's like no other. Probably 5 years ago, I tried to dupe this on this channel. The closest thing that I could find was by Tarte, which is interesting. And they're like Tarte Tingle. And it's a similar type of product, but this is pretty special because it has in it lactic acid, which is an alpha hydroxy acid. So that helps to just, break up the keratin on the surface of your skin, so that when you wash your face and stuff like that, you can reveal fresher skin underneath. But this also has in it phenol. And at least in the United States, we're allowed to have the phenol. That's another exfoliant. And I don't know, this to me is one of those things that is just glow inducing. And if you are over 35 years old, your skin cycle slows down. And this is one of the things in the last, I'd say 3 months, that I've been super diligent. I was kind of halfway doing it. Like before, I would maybe once a week, I would exfoliate. I don't know. And so this is one of the things, who got me to do it is Lisa J. Lisa J in Austin. We were talking in our video that we did together, and I brought this with me, but I was really not using it consistently in my routine. It would be just like whatever, whenever. And Lisa mentioned, and she even said something like, I feel like when I use it, there's like a spotlight on me. And I was like, it's like a light bulb literally went off. And I'm like, I am going to use that diligently because her skin, she's like just ridiculous, Anyway, so I feel like this has been just a huge game changer, and it's been in my routine forever, but I've kind of committed to doing it more regularly. So that would be probably my first tip, is exfoliation, especially as you get older, because the skin cycle slows down. It just needs a little bit of extra help.
Totally. She actually told me about that as well when we were filming, and she's like, have you ever heard of it? I've never heard of it. I've never seen it in Canada. So we will look to see if there's Canadian links. My Canadian viewership is like this big. There's like 10 of you guys. If you're Canadian, pop it in the chat.
And Caroline, just to let you know, I probably use it like 5 days a week now, and I use it in the morning. I typically like to use my exfoliants, which is almost always this one right now. Almost always. I'm fickle with my skincare because I try a lot, but I would say this is the one that is pretty consistent. And I like to use it in the morning because that's typically when I use other things that are lower pH, like if I use vitamin C or things like that. And so I just kind of stack my antioxidants after my exfoliation. So I would say I use it 4 to 5 times a week, and I just really pay attention to my skin, because something that I don't want to do is over exfoliate. And so I'm really careful to make sure that I'm not irritated, or I haven't created dry skin or anything, but I've not noticed that even doing it that often. I've only noticed that my skin texture has improved, and it helps to lift off surface pigment, which, if there is one thing in my adult life, it's hyperpigmentation that is the bane of my existence. And it helps with that surface pigment to kind of lift it off so that it's less prominent. So yeah.
That's awesome. So do you apply that and then apply, I would assume, your vitamin C, then your sunscreen?
So the way that I do it is I actually put this on. Do you guys have Target in Canada?
No.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know. They don't have Target in the UK either. And I'm like, how is that? Anyway, Target, and I'm sure some place there everywhere, has these little cotton rounds, and one side is textured and the other side is not. And I love them with this because they aren't super thick, so they don't absorb too much of it, because it's not cheap. I mean, this is like $60, which on maybe even $65, I don't know, which for a toner is actually pretty expensive, but it does last a long time. So I use one of those little cotton rounds, and I probably oversaturate it. I make it relatively wet. And then Biologique has a method where they kind of pat it into the skin so that you don't over irritate the skin. That's part of the reason why you can do it more often, is because you're not like rubbing the skin and really irritating the skin. So I do that. The phenol gives you almost like a numb feeling, which sounds ridiculous, but it does. So I usually wait. I'll wait like 15 minutes. I'll go do a couple chores. Maybe I'll brush my teeth, stuff like that. Then I will go on with my skincare. And right now I am using, because it's summertime, I'm using like 3 different essences and mists and stuff like that. Then I wait for that. Then I will do vitamin C and stuff. But I work from home. And so like you, I can stretch my morning routine out for 40 minutes, waiting in between steps. I know a lot of people don't have that luxury, and you could just go one right after the other.
Right. Okay. So let's pop up our first audience community post question. Okay. So let's see here. There we go. This was actually asked 2 times by 2 different people. So Karen's asking, please tell me how to get rid of bags under the eye. I'm so sick of them. This is probably one of my most commonly asked questions on the channel. And I am letting you take this because I am yet to figure it out.
So there's a couple things. Number one, you kind of need to figure out what the bags are from. So if the bags are edema, if they come and go, so, you had too much salt, maybe you had some champagne last night, something like that, and then you get some bags and puffiness under your eyes, that is fluid, and that's different than if you have fat protrusion, or you have a lot of us, as we get older especially, we will have the fat pads start to separate, and we will get protrusion. We lose some fat in some places, the fat descends and it protrudes in somewhere else, and so it just kind of exacerbates the look of that bag. That is different than edema. Unfortunately, the one that is fat is a lot harder to address at home than the edema. The edema can be lifestyle changes. I'm telling you, puffiness next to hyperpigmentation was the thing I complained about nonstop in the last 3 years. I mean, I was always complaining about it. I stopped eating sugar and stopped drinking alcohol, which I wasn't drinking alcohol all the time, but I just stopped drinking alcohol and eating sugar. And honestly, I'm rarely ever puffy anymore. So just a little plug for that lifestyle change, for if you would consider it. But back to the fat. I recently had like I said, back in October and in January, I had the Agnes RF. That video that I'm going to do, that I've done, is coming out on Saturday. The reason why I actually went to go do the Agnes RF is because it is one of the few in-office procedures that you can have done that targets fat. And one of the things that it can target is fat bags under the eyes, the actual fat bags, not puffiness from edema or fluid. And I thought there's a lot of people out there who don't want to go have lower blepharoplasty. They would rather do something in office. And so I would encourage you, if that is an option for you, if in office is an option for you, Agnes RF is definitely something that it's a single needle. And of course they numb you and do all this stuff, but it can selectively target fat, and it can definitely reduce. I mean, there are before and afters on both men and women where it really, really diminished the under eye fat bags that were protruding. So that's something to consider for sure as well. If you don't wear makeup, if you don't have problems with dark circles, and you don't want to wear concealer, you don't care about concealer, there are products on the market now that they have aluminum silicate or magnesium silicate in them. And when you use them, like Peter Thomas Roth has one, that's a famous one. It's like Eye Tight or Firm X or something like that. When you use just a tiniest little amount on the surface, what it does is the magnesium silicate or the aluminum silicate contracts, and it sort of like contracts over the bag and the non-bag area and blends them together, so you don't see as much of that protrusion. So that's an option too. If you use too much, it can leave a little bit of a white residue. They don't really work those products don't work that well with makeup. But if you're somebody who doesn't wear makeup, that is one of those things that is a temporary daily fix that can definitely make that area look better, like right now. So that's an option too. And Gabby, I have some of that for you. Do you remember we were talking about this?
Yes.
For somebody, yes. Yes. Oh.
Yes, because I want to test all those products on my husband.
Yes.
So you guys,
I didn't want to say that.
I have loads of problems, like nasolabial hyperpigmentation. I have a lot of fine lines and wrinkles around my eyes for my age. I show it all the time in the videos. Like I'll take all the fancy lights away, and some of you guys are like, whoa, we didn't see it. I have a lot of crepiness under the eyes. I have all the issues, but one issue I don't have is puffiness under my eyes yet. But my husband really does. So I'm going to test all these products on him because I want to try to find something, but I really want to see it actually working, doing just one eye and seeing if there's a big difference. Yeah. So I'm excited to try that. That's awesome advice.
Yes. And can you tell, not to speak about him when he's not even here, but can you tell if it's fat or does it come and go?
I think it might be a bit of both.
Yeah, which it often is a little bit of both. Yeah, because then there's also things like you can look for eye creams that have, for example, caffeine in them. And there are some ingredients that you can look for in eye creams that can help with puffiness due to edema, fluids, stuff like that. That there are other products like that. I mean, they're totally temporary. They're not going to do anything special for the skin, but they kind of encourage that microcirculation. And so it helps to just carry that lymphatic stuff away. But if they don't go, if there's part of it that is there all the time, then it's probably some fat too.
Debbie's asking, what do you think about facial exercises? Do you think those make a difference?
Personally, I do. I actually think facial exercises, microcurrent, gua sha, I think all that stuff is amazing. I think that there is a little bit of truth and validity in almost everything. I really do. I think some things get a little bit overhyped, and I've said so many times on my channel, there is no cream that is going to lift your face like a facelift, that kind of thing. And so reasonable expectations with some things, but I definitely feel like why wouldn't, if we can exercise our body and improve our tone of our arms or legs or whatever, we have muscles in our face. And so why wouldn't exercising the muscles in our face help a little bit? So
yeah. Staying on the eye theme, I'll go into my next recommendation. I have so many products here I want to show you on day. So I recently got this device. Okay. This is the Nira laser. And so my biggest issue I've been finding is fine lines around my eyes. My skin under my eyes is so thin, and I'm very expressive, and I smile a lot, and I smile really big, and I squint when I smile. It's like, I've done that since I was a kid. My dad does it. So I have just a lot of lines around my eyes, and around my eyes is not somewhere where I can really get Botoxed, Right. Yeah. And actually I did get a little bit of Botox here, like the microtox where they dilute it. And then I wasn't able to squint and smile really hard. And I didn't like that because having expression for me prioritizes not having wrinkle. Like I would rather
Yes.
wrinkly and joyful than
Yes.
not wrinkly and not happy, you know?
I know.
So I started using this. I heard about this initially from Angie Hot and Flashy, and it's an at-home laser device. And I really do find that it's working really well for me. So the way that it works, I'm looking at my notes here so I don't miss anything. It stimulates the natural collagen production for younger looking skin. It takes about 90 days for you to see results if you do it regularly. I've been doing it every single day. This is the Nira Pro. So this one has a big kind of face, and you can treat your hands, you can treat your décolleté and chest and neck and your face really easily. This one is great, but right now where I am at in my life, I'm going to be honest, this is the one that I use religiously because there's only so many hours in the day. I have young kids, you know. This one I never skip. I use it pretty much every single day, at least once a day, sometimes even twice, morning and night. I'll show you guys how it works in case you're wondering. You just turn it on. There's actually 5 power levels, so you can keep moving it up. You can hear. I always go to level 4. I find 5 is too much for under my eyes. And because it has this teeny little tip, I just press it on the skin and I press this button here and I go, do you hear it? And I work all the way around my eyes. I go right up to the lash line. And really, I feel the heat, but I don't feel any pain. There's no downtime. And I believe it's 40 or 50 pulses per eye. Then it's going to double beep and you move on to the next eye. And I'm telling you guys, I've really noticed so much improvement being very diligent with this. I wasn't sure if it was a bit of a gimmick. You know, there's so many devices. I have so many of them. And being a YouTuber, we get sent a lot of them, right? And I wasn't sure. So I really was quite diligent with doing it and looking at my previous videos before I started it, you know, when there's, you know me, you guys, there's no filter, there's no bullshit, there's none of that stuff, right? And I was looking at myself like close up when the lights were more dim. And now I really do see improvement. Is it life-changing surgery level improvement? Of course not, but it's enough that it's worth me spending a minute every day doing it before going to bed. So I actually really like that laser device.
You know, it's interesting. The Nira is one of 2 on the market that are legitimized. I want to say it's like a 1440 wavelength laser, which is it's pretty gentle. And isn't it like a 2-minute treatment time or something like that?
It's so quick. Like I just follow, I'm either like listening to a podcast or watching TV, or so. You don't have to really think about it because, you know, with the Zip Halo, unless you do the one that's pre-programmed, you kind of have to follow Melanie, which is it's still amazing, but you have to kind of think. Whereas with this one, I do it every day. So I just go, like I follow the dots around my eye until it double beeps and I move to the next side. It is like under 2 minutes. Like it's really fast.
Yeah. I do have a suggestion for you, which it sounds like you don't need this suggestion, but for anybody out there that decides if they want to try the Nira, that some people experience dehydration, and when they use any laser can do that to you. Yes. And so it's a really good idea to rehydrate the tissue after you do the laser treatment, or else you may perceive that the area got worse. And I've heard that in my Facebook group, and really all it is some dehydration. The benefits of the laser are long-term collagen stimulation. Yes. Anything that's happening in the moment, like if you woke up the next day and you're like, oh, I feel like whatever, that is something that's more superficial. And so it's really a good idea that when you use that to rehydrate that area after the treatment.
It's the same thing happened with me when I started using, because my under eyes, they bother me a lot. Right. And so Angie said, you know, I said, give it to me. What's the best thing, you know, cut all the fluff. And she just goes, Nira and tretinoin. And when I started using tretinoin under my eyes for the first month or so, I'm like, my under eyes are getting worse. And it was absolutely that. It was a dehydration issue. Yeah. I think the combination of tretinoin and the laser was a lot of, yes, it looked worse until it like miraculously looked better. And not miraculously, I just started I use the Dermalect under eye cream now. I don't have it here, but this is the brand Dermalect.
Yes. The eye light is so good. It's one of my very favorites.
Yeah. Do you want to go into your next product?
Sure. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to talk about collagen peptides because this is not skincare. Like this is not traditional skincare. This is internal skincare. And I'm telling you, this has been a big thing for like nutrition and protein and all that stuff. When you get a little bit older, you will, I don't want to use the age card, but I promise you'll care even more about your bones and your muscle mass and all of that stuff as you realize that your health is like more eminently important as you get older. So I've done a bunch of content on collagen peptides, and I had a video on it just recently. And the bottom line, they're good for you. I feel like every woman should be having some collagen in their diet. And excuse me, it doesn't have to be any certain collagen. So I have some that I really, really like, and I will add some to my coffee in the morning. But then I also make one from Dr. Haver, Dr. Mary Claire. I will make hers into a drink because it has certain types of collagen that help our bones and that directly help our skin. So I would encourage everybody to look into different kinds of collagen, whatever floats their boat, whatever they enjoy, like they like unflavored or they like flavored or whatever. It doesn't necessarily matter the brand because all of it is going to do some good for our joints, our skin, our, all of that stuff. And I would encourage people to watch the video that I did. And I have a really, really super extensive blog about collagen peptides. The content probably took me about 2 years of testing and studying and that kind of stuff. And bottom line, what I came to is that just every aging woman should be getting adequate protein and I think having collagen peptides of some sort. So there's my plug for collagen as we're getting older.
I try to use collagen as well. I just find that I can't mix it into my coffee because it doesn't mix well. Maybe I'm using the wrong one and it has a seaweed taste and it's
so you're obviously using a fish, which is great. A fish is a great source of collagen. I'm going to just show you. Again, it doesn't matter the brand, but I'll show you what I have. Dr. Rajani's. It's unflavored. I put it in my coffee and it mixes in. And it's exactly what you said. I have probably tried, I'm not exaggerating, 50 different collagen peptide products. I've bought them on Amazon. I have bought them at Costco. I have gotten them at Whole Foods, the whole thing. And there's been several that have been just fine. This one's nice because I can put it in my coffee and it doesn't get clumpy. That's so disgusting. Like nobody wants that. But also I can add it into other things because it's not flavored. Then Dr. Haver's. So let's say you don't like that. You don't want to put it in your coffee. I find that is just so convenient and easy. And it's literally like put it in there. It disappears into the coffee. The temperature does not denature the collagen, by the way. And which I thought for a long time. I was like, well, the hot coffee. But the reality is if it can get through our stomach, and some of it definitely does, some of it doesn't, but some of it does, it can make it through coffee. It's fine through coffee. But Dr. Haver's is nice. You could do that one because it makes into a lemonade drink. And then you get more water, so you get more hydration, and you get your collagen peptides.
Oh, that's awesome to know. Again, you guys, all of this is going to be linked. So if you want to check out the link, it's all going to be in the description box. Do you have a discount code for that product, Pen?
I have a discount code for Dr. Rajani's. And it is, I think it's Pen 10. It's 10% off. 10% off everything of Dr. Rajani's because I also have and love his LED mask. I've tried several things from Dr. Rajani, and I'm going to put a plug in for him as well because I think he is just literally one of the most awesome humans ever. He is such a kind, collaborative, supportive. He's a doctor with like all these accolades, and he will message you privately if you have a question about something. I mean, like he's so incredible. So I love supporting him, but he did give me a code for 10% off everything on his site. And that's his LED mask. And LED is like the Nira. That's me for LED. That and the Zip. The Zip is one of my all-time favorite devices as well. But if I had to pick one modality, one single, I couldn't have anything else, it would be LED for sure, because I 100% believe in it, that it will help with cellular energy, helps with collagen production. Big time important is that it helps with protecting our elastin. And as we get older, our elastin fibers degrade. And that's why we lose some of just that bounce back in our skin. And I just, LED is literally one of the best things. And it's so passive and easy and non-invasive and all that stuff. Dr. Rajani's to me is special because, thank you for putting it up there. This will hopefully, it has a submental piece. And so that goes underneath your chin. And I just thought that was really innovative. Like, I think that was really, really smart because a lot of us want to treat that area. And kind of just like what you said with the Nira, is it going to change your life? Is it going to give you a different face? No. It is one of those things where when I do it consistently, which I always do, that is one thing I am 100% consistent with for years now is LED. You will see a glow in your skin. You will see that your skin just improves. It is not going to be, like I said, it's not a brand new face or anything like that. But with consistency, it 100% can improve skin texture, tone, and kind of that vitality of the skin.
Yeah, I love
You
that.
use LED? Are you LED? Okay.
I do. I've fallen off the bandwagon the last month.
Well, when it's hot, sometimes it's hard. It's true, but you got to get back on the bandwagon. It's so good for you.
I know.
It's just good for us everywhere. And you know what's really cool about LED too is that at any given time, we have about 20% of our blood supply is in our skin, and it's circulating in and out of our skin, of course, bringing us nutrients and doing all of that. So when we use LED, like I have a panel too that I love to use, and I have lots and lots of masks. But when we use LED and we basically irradiate in a good way those skin cells, the blood cells that are there are also getting treated and getting a dose of something called ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, which is a cellular energy. And then they're circulating. So we might treat our face or even with a panel part of our body, but that cellular energy is carried through in our circulatory system and systemically can benefit us. To me, I'm just like, that is so cool. And there's like over 6,000, it might even be 7,000 now, published papers that validate LED. So it is not one of those things that's like, yeah, whatever, you know, it's truly, truly one of those things that definitely is good for us.
Yeah, it's not frou-frou. It's an actual, yeah.
Same with the collagen peptides. Like there are definitely people who are like, and I'm like, there are 6,627 studies that I recently was like, okay, I can look at maybe 3 dozen. Like, I got it. I believe you, you know? So
that brings me to this question. This is a really great question by Anita in the community board. I'm really curious to know what recommendations each of you wish you hadn't made. I think this is a great question because as creators, we're kind of held to our recommendations. I've been doing this for 5 years. I'm not going to lie. There's moments where I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't suggest, I changed my mind.
Yes.
What is your biggest suggestion?
Okay, I'm going to give a big one, and this is going to be a bombshell, honestly. And if you are here, I love the people who made this. So I'm going to caveat with that. But Droplet is really unfortunate. I love the makers of the Droplet. I love the concept of the Droplet. I loved my Droplet. But unfortunately, they had so much trouble coming to market. And so many people in my community had trouble and and they were amazing about the trouble. They kept replacing people's, they were amazing about it. But ultimately it's like, oh shoot, you know, when you jump on board with somebody who's small and new and innovative and all of this stuff, you're risking that there's going to be hiccups, and they had some hiccups, and I don't regret supporting them because I think they're fantastic people, but I do hold regret for all of the things that ensued for the community and myself. Yeah, that's one of those. And actually that's going to be in an upcoming video. I actually am going to, that's interesting that question was asked because there are a few things off the top of my head. That's the biggest one. That you're right. I mean, we can look back and be like, oh, you know, we're just human, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't regret supporting them though, because there are these couple of PhD women that are just the coolest, nicest, smartest. And, but I just think that, you know, they just had some issues with the execution.
Totally.
How about you?
My biggest regret was iRestore. So iRestore is a laser LED.
Yeah.
a helmet that's supposed to help with hair loss. I had significant hair loss and I had a hair transplant. If you guys are new here, you probably don't know that. I vlogged the whole thing. A big part of my channel was all about hair loss for like 2 years. That's all I talked about. My hair loss experience, going through the transplant, having the hair grow back, everything. And so I entered into a partnership with iRestore and I did so much research. I have a science background. I read all these papers. I did all these things. And I really thought that this is an amazing kind of solution and hope for people with hair loss. But if I'm being completely honest, hair loss is such a complex thing. There's so many factors that contribute to it and the type of hair loss that you are experiencing. And at the end of the day, I really think that the results that I was getting was 1000% from the transplant, very little from the laser, although I thought a lot of it had to do with the laser as well, but it was impossible to test that because I had the transplant at the same time. I think there was a lot of false hope from my results, which weren't laser based. And I tried it on my husband, who's going through a little bit of genetic hair loss. We saw no results at all. And it's just a very expensive device. Like sort of a little bit of results because it's just not something that I think is going to be life-changing for like 99% of people. And I do really regret that.
So yeah, it's interesting because I researched a competitor, a helmet as well, and really went through, I think it was about 10 months of, I had 4 different people test the helmet.
Yeah.
And of varying different kinds of alopecia. So we had an older man who was testing it. We had a woman who had just a little bit of androgenic alopecia, blah, blah, blah. And the science is there. The science is there. And so I was really, really excited about it until we got to the 9-month mark. And not one of the people who were testing it had any results at all. And it was one of those situations where it was actually sort of contentious because I came back to them and I said, I can't do any content on this. So I dodged the bullet with that. That said, I do think that those laser helmets work, but they're only this little tiny piece of this whole, because I use the hat right here and it's got Frankie cat fur on it, but I use this one from Higher Dose. And it's LED and it's only at level 5 irradiance. And it's very, very low irradiance. And the reason why I decided that I was going to, because the science is there, but I was really, really careful setting expectations with my audience because I'm like, this is just a tiny little piece of, maybe it'll help me have less hair fall. It's really super easy to use and it's not crazy expensive. Yeah. That's where the laser helmets, to me, I'm like, you can't charge people $1,000 for very little results. If you want it to be a tool in the toolbox, make it at least accessible to people so that if they want to also do X, Y, and Z, they can, because they're going to need to do all of those things. And the other thing I will say is that I'm not going to mention who that other company was, but I felt this pressure to talk about it. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to. Whereas Higher Dose, they were like, we don't want to give false hope to women or men, but they were really like, it is such an emotional thing, as oh my gosh, that you don't want to take advantage of that by promising like, this is going to fix it all. No, it is just one tiny little tool in the toolbox for hair loss.
That's the thing. Like when it comes to a lot of these tools that we talk about, especially with hair loss, because that's a very sensitive topic, I feel like the companies become predatory, and you look at your, as creators, like I'm going to tell you guys the real tea. Okay. Like come into our world. This is our job. Right. And when we get these brand deals, they say, we need you to show results. And it's like they want the video done and online before you even have a chance to have results. So they basically want you to kind of fudge your results, and I'm just like not okay with that. I mean, iRestore never said that to me. I'm not throwing them under the bus. They never did any of that. But the reality is that a lot of these companies, when it comes to hair loss, I mean, you might get some results if you're lucky and you have a specific type of hair loss, but it's also very likely that you won't. And I feel like they prey on like massive insecurity. And I don't like that. I stay away from hair loss topics like the plague now. I got multiple emails this week from different brands. Will you try this? Can you talk about it on your channel? What if we give you a 6-month trial period? And I'm like, I don't even want to go there. I am like emotionally scarred from the hair loss topic.
Yes. And I completely understand that. And as a hairstylist too, we just know that there's so many different things that could be going on. And there are things that could be going on that are situational that are going to remedy themselves anyway. And then you think that something else did that. Now, I truly believe, because like I said, I had a very close family member last year in June, so a little over a year ago, almost died, like a super close person. And the stress of that, it was about 3.5 months later, my hair just started falling. I mean, like, it was so stressful. That's the kind of hair loss the ship will right itself. And so I have been throwing everything at my hair, like this last year, the laser, that's LED, but that I've been doing, I tried minoxidil for a little while. I've done hair serums like you cannot believe. I do love this, the prostaglandins. This definitely does work. It's just like Latisse, but on your scalp. You just have to use it every day and it's expensive. That helps your hair grow faster, not necessarily thicker. So you have to have hair. Like it's not going to change your hair loss.
Yes.
I did all of that stuff, knowing though also some of it's just going to come back because the stress is gone and my hair is just going to, I hope, make its way back. So I have to be reasonable about what are the results. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things. And I think that for our audience, for sure, is just understanding the expectation of any of this stuff,
Yes. Pen, do you want to show that product? Because I know a lot of people, I had a meltdown last week because I cut my hair back into a bob.
Oh.
And I had a complete meltdown about it with Pen on the phone. I'm like, and
this was one of the things that I was telling you that I should throw in the box that I have for you. This is Revitalash foam. And I didn't even put this on my list, but I should have. So there's a couple of different things like this. So there's Revitalash foam, Grande Hair. So they have a serum, Grande Hair MD. Neulasta has one. And then you can get it like prescribed, but basically it's a prostaglandin. And what a prostaglandin is kind of like Latisse for your eyelashes. There's some products on the market that put this in for your scalp and it works just the same. I don't use prostaglandins on my eyelashes anymore because they can cause orbital fat loss and they can cause darkening. You can get some dark circles, stuff like that. But I totally use them on my eyebrows and I use them on my scalp because what they do is they cause the hair to stay in the growth phase longer. And they also do cause the hair to be thicker. It's hard to explain. It's very good for the follicle. So typically the follicle will produce a thicker hair. I don't want to say you're going to get way thicker hair, but it just produces a healthier hair that grows faster and stays in that growth phase longer. The other thing that I've noticed about prostaglandins is that when I have stopped, because I've used this on and off for years, and it's just really one of those things where you're like, you fall off the wagon and then you turn around and you're like, wait, why haven't I done that for a month? That kind of thing. Pretty diligent right now. But I don't notice that I get excess shed when I stop. And that's something that's super important because anybody who's ever used like Latisse or anything like that, when you stop using it, like 2 months later, you have like no eyelashes. Well, that would not be good for our scalp. I've never noticed that when I've used prostaglandins on the scalp. So if anybody out there is trying to grow their hair faster, look into prostaglandins for hair growth. This one is excellent. I often get mine from Skin Beautiful RX because I can get it on discount because it's expensive. You can get Grande MD, the hair serum. You can get them on Amazon, and I have a sneaking feeling that this might be on Prime Day. I haven't seen it on any lists or anything, but it might be. So if anybody is like thinking they want to get it, you can get it at a discount because it's expensive and you have to use it every single day. So, and you should use this, Gab. It would help you grow your bangs out faster. I used to grow my bangs out before, and it works. It definitely works.
I know. I have to give it a try.
Yeah.
You guys, we've been having so much fun. I feel like we need to do a flash of like some of our favorite products before we go, because
go for it, yeah.
There's so many things we want to tell. So why don't let's do this, Pen. I'll do like my top. Okay, let's go back and forth real quick.
Okay.
Tell our favorite things.
Okay.
So I just discovered this very recently. It's the Dermalect Self-Esteem Beauty Sleep Serum. This is absolutely amazing. I have some notes about it, you guys, because you know me. This is an award-winning overnight skin perfecting serum, and it really is phenomenal. A friend of mine told me about it, and she was raving about it. I was like, I don't know, like, how good can it be? You know, I've tried everything. It really is amazing. And the reason it's amazing is because it's a really highly concentrated exfoliator. So it works to reduce wrinkling, discoloration, uneven skin tone. It contains 3 really great actives: glycolic acid, salicylic acid, and L-ascorbic acid. So a really powerful vitamin C. And so if you use it, what you'll notice, I've been using it only for about 2 weeks, and I already noticed like smaller pores, smoother skin, brighter, more even complexion. You can apply it on your face or décolleté. It's great for fine lines, clogged pores, acne, age spots. Like, I will show you guys. I'll put it on actually. You can see it comes in this little dropper and it goes on. I have no makeup on, so I could show you guys some of these things. It goes on so nice. It kind of smells a little bit like maple syrup, the Canadian to me. And so I was going down the rabbit hole and everyone's like, it smells like maple syrup. Has it gone bad? No, that's actually what it's supposed to smell like. And you've tried this too, right, Pen? And don't you?
It is part of my nighttime routine. I just do 1 night a week, but I use my P50 enough, so I don't want to use it more often than that. Plus, I have dry skin, so I'm kind of, so I only use it 1 night a week. I put it on, and then I will wait a little while, and I top it with a bunch of Soothe and Recovery from Dermatology, which is just this really simple overnight, like wonderful. It's not really occlusive, but it's nice, a night cream to me. And the combination of, which I brought my sleep serum, I have a brand new one I just bought, of the sleep serum and that, like just those 2 things is literally an overnight glow up. I mean, it is. And I've been doing that. I love Dermalect. I think that their brand is so innovative, but that one product is probably my very favorite product from their whole line. And they've got some amazing products. So that says a lot.
Yeah, they do really have amazing products. Since we're on the topic, this is one of the biggest
Is that the neck?
It's the neck. I know the neck shows a lot of aging and it's kind of hard to counteract it, So they also have this. It's a self-esteem neck firming lift. Yep. Again, I like testing things for you guys. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been using this on my neck every morning and night. And I'm telling you, the hydration and the plump that I'm getting from it is incredible. I think that if you guys are having issues with the neck starting to droop more, you should invest in a moisturizer that's specifically made for the neck and become very diligent and consistent in using it. And I think this one is honestly really nice. Have you tried this one?
Oh yeah, that's probably my favorite neck cream. So that neck cream too, what is special about it, because I am one of those people who is like, I go back and forth with, do you really need a neck cream? Do you really need an eye cream? That kind of thing. And there are some neck creams and there are some eye creams that actually do something different than just your facial moisturizer that you put on. That particular neck cream, and they have it in the tub, and then they have the pro version that you were just doing. They're both amazing. Like, both of them are good. The one that you were just using has glycolic acid in it. That's an alpha hydroxy acid. And some of what goes on with our neck is textural changes and hyperpigmentation. And some of that stuff, we're so focused, I think a lot, especially as we get older, on sagging and tech neck and stuff like that. But the texture of our neck makes a huge difference, and the hyperpigmentation. And so you have this beautiful skin with you're no hyperpigmentation. But I am telling you, that particular neck cream, because of the glycolic acid, and it's formulated so that our neck can be very sensitive. And it's formulated in a way that it's going to help to address texture and tone and irregular pigment, but it isn't going to irritate the neck, and it's going to hydrate the neck. And it's definitely a special product, in my opinion. And it's one of like 3 neck creams that I've ever recommended on my channel.
Yeah, it's a struggle, right? Because you can't like treat like you can with your face. Like I don't use tretinoin on my neck because it's too much.
Right.
So you're kind of in this situation where how do you help this? And I get the question all the time from my mature community, my mature models. What do I do about this? And I can camouflage the discoloration with makeup. And everyone asks, how did you get her neck to look better? And I'm like, because it wasn't a sagging issue. It was a discoloration issue. When you fix it makes the neck look younger, you know?
There are statistics about the human eye and what we perceive as youthful or, things like that, which we could argue that who cares, you know what I mean? Like, obviously we all know that what matters most is not necessarily what our eyes see, but since we're here talking about aesthetics, what it is irregularity in our skin tone and texture, way more than any wrinkles or anything like that. So if you've ever seen a woman, which I know you have because you have these amazing mature women on your channel, when they're like 70 years old, 75 years old, but they have peaches and cream skin. Oh my God, are they not the most beautiful? Like, I'm so jealous of that because I have such bad hyperpigmentation that I'm constantly battling. And I just think that is the mark of healthy, beautiful skin. And I think anything that we can do to improve that irregularity, man, it makes a huge difference.
It does. Cheryl's asking, is the Dermalex Sleep Serum too harsh to use daily?
I think so, personally. But again, I have dry and dehydrated skin. And if you had oily skin, Gabby, you maybe could do it every day if you wanted to. Yeah. But personally, I think that's a little bit of overkill. I think that even a person with oily skin, it would be like a 3-night a week, maybe 4 nights a week. Because here's the thing. The other thing about it is because it is glycolic, salicylic, and it is L-ascorbic, you're not really layering that on with your retinoids. So if any night that I'm using the Dermalex Sleep Serum, that's why I keep that night super duper simple. I actually am using a pigment inhibitor now. I'm using Fade Bright from Platinum. Then I'm using the Sleep Serum, and then I'm putting on my Dermatology. That's the entire routine that night. So what that means is that night I'm not using a vitamin A. And there are only so many nights I don't want to use vitamin A. So I would say the most would be 3 nights because you don't want to not use your vitamin A that many nights a week.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I use my tretinoin every day because that's where I see the most consistent results, unless my skin's feeling a little like, and then I will skip it. Yes. But I will use, I'll do like tretinoin, this, tretinoin, this. Yep. I kind of like sprinkle it into my routine. Yes.
And honestly, that's me too. And it's funny because people ask me about AM, PM routines, and the longer and the more diligent I am with skincare, honestly, I have every night I sort of decide like, okay, where am I right now? And what do I need to do? Because most of us don't do exactly the same thing every day and every night because our skin is needing different things at different times. And I wanted to just say, Cheryl, I answered your question, but it's so good to see you here. I recognized your name. I'm like, oh wait, I didn't even say hello. So anyway.
Do you want to suggest one more, or you know what? Are you okay? It's 7:04. Can you keep going?
I can do this all day, girl. I swear I could do this all day. Yes. Let me say that copper peptides. Do you use a copper peptide yet?
I've never even heard of it. I am so like vanilla with the world of skincare still.
Okay, so peptides in general are one of those things that I think in general, they're one of my favorite things in skincare because they do so many different things. Peptides can help to hydrate our skin. They cellular communicators, so they can help with collagen and elastin. They can help with pigment. There's nonapeptide 1 that helps to inhibit over, pigment. And then copper peptides are very, very special because they're a tripeptide attached to a copper, and they can help with retexturizing the skin. They can help with wound healing. They help with collagen. They help with our elastin. They're just this really amazing, well-studied peptide. And just did a video recently on it. And I'm telling you, I had copper peptides out of my routine for a short amount of time because, long story, but I had it out of my routine for a while. And I realized how much I missed it because it is just so good for the texture and the tone of your skin. and the elasticity. So copper peptides is one of those things that I definitely think is a good thing to have in a routine. And I like them at night.
Awesome. We have a question here from Jen that's interesting. Have you used estrogen cream on your face?
Yes, I have. And the one that I was using was M4 from Alloy. And here's the deal with that. I'm in perimenopause. I am still have a period. And so I'm really truly in that peri stage. I am on like the bridge HRT. So I'm on a little tiny bit of estrogen and progesterone because I have a uterus. And I was using the M4 for a little while. And honestly, I was like, because I don't think I'm at that point that I need it yet. I really truly think that the best time for estrogen topical, and it 100% is good for your skin. We have estrogen receptors we have them everywhere, but we have them in our skin. We have them in our heart. We have them in our bones, in our muscles, all of it. So topical is amazing. And there's lots of science behind that too. But I do think you need to be at the point where you've lost the estrogen in your skin in order to see the benefit. So if you are in perimenopause, maybe late perimenopause, maybe it's worth it. But I truly think that you might be wasting your money until you get to the point where you actually need to replenish the estrogen in your skin. But it's definitely a thing, and it works. And also, there's a lot of people that'll be like, well, could I do vaginal estrogen? It's cheaper, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you can. It is not as cosmetically elegant as some of these products that are being formulated to actually use as skincare. But the ones that are being formulated to use as skincare are a lot more expensive. So you just got to weigh them out. If you want to do vaginal estrogen on your skin at night and you don't care what it looks or feels like, you could save yourself a bunch of money.
Interesting.
I know. It is interesting. It really is interesting.
It really is.
Yeah.
I haven't even thought about that yet, but
yeah. Right?
My time will come. That's a great question. Thanks for asking it, Jen. I'm sure a lot of people are curious. I want to show you guys two products that I love so much that I just discovered. Okay, Dalba. Have you guys heard of Dalba?
So good.
So good. I heard about this on Painted by Spencer's channel. He's an incredible LA makeup artist. He used it on his model. And I was like, what is this magic thing? Yeah. So there's two products by them that I'm obsessed with. This is the Dalba First Spray Serum. This is a double layer serum with white truffle. So whenever I talk about this, I always talk about it with describing it as the white truffle glow. And that's what all the influencers say when they describe it. That's exactly what it is. You guys can see how much of it I've used on myself and on my models. This is my second bottle. There's a layer of oil here, and then there's a serum layer. And this is just jam-packed with so many amazing nutrient ingredients. When my skin is feeling very dehydrated, that's when I reach for this. And I especially reach for this when I'm working with more mature models that have that type of skin that doesn't have the plumpness to it, and I want to turn back time with makeup. I'll start with this. And so what you do is you just shake it and you spray it all over your face, and you will see immediately that you get the most. Look at my chest. You get the most insane glow from it. But I wouldn't say it's over the top oily, because I'm like not into those products where it's an oil slick and then you can't layer anything with it. Makeup doesn't stay. I think this is an incredible product to use under makeup, especially for dry, dehydrated skin. And the next one that I think is so innovative, I've never seen anything like this, is the White Truffle Double Serum and Cream.
I love it so much. Oh,
it's
so good.
So good.
That whole line is so good. Their sunscreens are like amazing.
I know. I just bought this for my sister, and then she came over and I'm like, why are you so radiant today? And she's like, it's that moisturizer you gave me. I'm like, no way.
And so good for travel, because you have, two things in one. I'm going somewhere and I have this, and I'm like, that is what I'm going to take. That's so smart.
Yeah. So the thing that makes this really cool, I'm not even going to get into the ingredients, you guys, because like you can do your own rabbit hole research there. It's amazing. But what's really cool about this is you have a serum and you have a cream. The cream is more viscous. It's heavier. The serum is really light. So for me, for example, I have very oily skin. So in the summertime, I just dip into the serum. You can use the spatula, right? Keep it hygienic, but I am doing this on the fly. and I only use the serum, and that layers so perfectly under my makeup because it's fresh and very, see how pretty, like, look at how glowy my skin is right now. Okay. That's no makeup, just that, I also put this on. There's a few things going on, but just that. But then say you're really dehydrated, you can just use the cream, or you can custom mix. So say your skin's feeling kind of normal, you can do equal parts serum, equal parts cream, mix it together and apply it. So you can mix and match depending on the season, how your skin feels, what you're trying to accomplish. I think this is amazing. Like, I absolutely love the skincare product.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you know what I love about the mists like that? I feel like, especially in the summertime, if you can I like to saturate my skin because the surface layer gets dehydrated. And don't you think it's just amazing how quickly you can look better just by being hydrated? I mean, it just switches everything. And it doesn't really matter. Any of us, even if you're oily, can have that surface layer be dehydrated. And what that does, in my opinion, is make us look dull.
Yes.
And dull is often just dehydrated, and we just need a little drink of water,
Totally. When I get hydrofacials at my skin spa, like my medical skin spa, every time I leave the office, people are like, whoa, you look incredible. And it's, what did you have done? It's just moisture. That's it.
Yep. And that's when I was doing facials in the clinic. It was like, seriously, people would come in, and granted, they came in probably at their worst because they were like, I'm going to get a facial, whatever. Yeah. And they would leave like 10 years younger. It wasn't the microcurrent treatment. It wasn't any of that. It was the hydration. And it's that simple for a lot of us. Yeah. Somebody just mentioned that they love the D'Alba body mist. I haven't tried the body mist. Have you tried the body mist?
No.
I'm like, I need to try. That person there it is. Yeah, I love the body mist. I'm like, add to cart. Oh my gosh. So this is not skincare related, but I saw this thing on Instagram. I'm just going to share this with a huge cow, like one of those cows that is like fluffy and cute. And this lady was all hugging on it and everything. And I looked in the comments, and somebody put down, adds cow to Amazon cart. That's what I feel like with the body mist. I'm like, I need to add that.
I'm like Googling it right now. We're not.
Yeah, like I want to look it up right now before everybody else is looking it up.
Oh, I think we lost Pen. We totally lost her. She was here and now she's gone. Well, you guys, we lost Pen, but it is 7:15 and it's time for us to wrap it up anyways. So thank you so much. Thank you for coming on, hanging out with us today. Oh, she's back. We can't say goodbye without her.
Wait, I don't know what happened.
There you are. Whoa. Well, you know what? Don't leave yet. Everyone's still watching. They were like, what happened to her? So you got to tell us tell us 2 more of your favorite things.
Okay. Pigment inhibitors, guys, I have a video coming really soon, but I'll just tell you, Fade Bright, Dr. Shaw, Dr. Lee, he has one called Remedy for dark spots. There's a bunch of them on the market, but basically what they are is a class of ingredients. It's essentially that help to inhibit irregular pigment from the base of our skin so that as those cells march forward, we have clearer skin. And again, that goes back to the whole premise of if you have clear skin with less irregularity, and I am telling you this as someone who has chronic melasma and hyperpigmentation, and I'm Irish, so I get red and all of that stuff, the more you can encourage an even skin tone, the better. So in general, something that I think is top of the list for anti-aging is pigment inhibitors. Platinum Skincare, this is their Fade Bright. It is an amazing cocktail of pigment inhibitors. Dr. Shaw's is really cool too. It's a really affordable, it's a good price point. And it has in it retinol, but it also has a bunch of pigment inhibitors. So it's kind of like an all-in-one for at night for kind of retinol newbie people in the vitamin A world. Anyway, big time recommendation for anti-aging is pigment inhibition.
Yeah, that makes a big, big, big difference.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. There's so many things I want to show
you. We need to just do this again.
I know. We have to continue it because
No.
we're over our time and I don't want to keep you any longer, but we have so many more recommendations. Everything's going to be in the description. And you guys, if you want Pen back, post it in the chat. Say, come back.
And Gab, I'm going to get my stuff together and you're going to have to come on my channel because, you know, I know some of my peeps are here because I saw a few of their names, but, you know, you are beloved in my world. I mean, for me, but oh my gosh, we love you so much.
I love you guys too. I will come anytime you want me there. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I hope that you feel beautiful today. Pen, you know what we do around here on the count of 3.
Wait, I know the let's go, but
this video.
Oh.
1, 2, 3. This video's over.